Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Spankers back again with another video for the AoE Mage guide. This one's going to be cutting into our leveling experience with the gnolls. If you want to come here, this is a kind of a deterrent to doing the gnolls the whole time. If you get bored over there, you can come over here, and this is actually more experience. So what I would recommend is there are ghouls here, plague spreaders, rotted ones, and bone chewers that spawn in the Ravenhill Cemetery up here. Very northeast. What you're gonna do is you're essentially gonna group these up, and then just kill them down like you do everything else. These are the talents you're gonna need. I put 2 in Frost Warding, 3 in Elemental Precision, 2 in Improved Frost Nova, 3 in Permafrost, 3 in Improved Blizzard, 1 in Cold Snap, 1 in Piercing Eyes, and 2 in Frost Channeling. When you start this pull, you'll actually have 1 in Frost Channeling, but what you're going to want to do is if you're level 25 and trying to do this, you're going to want to avoid these level 28 Plague Spreaders because they'll run straight through your Blizzard half the time. But we'll go over and go ahead and get into a pull here in a second. I'm going to show you 2 different types of pulls. One is going to be using this as a barrier to pull these mobs on. As you can see, he's running all the way around, right? So what happens is when you jump this, these mobs can't go through that wall. So they just run all the way around the whole time. So what you can do is you can use that as a buffer to kind of pull more mobs. And then just keep jumping back and forth until you get them grouped up, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them hit me a couple times. You can actually pull way more mobs than this if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and let these ones hit me a couple of times. Grab a couple more mobs. Put them into it. Run on this side, and then go ahead and Frost Nova right here. Now what you can do here is you can jump back and forth between these 2 paths right here and just kill these mobs. Now we had one that came back from a warlock that's trying to farm over here, but that's all right. As long as you keep these blizzards down, you're going to be perfectly fine. You just hit a jump here, then put the blizzard back at the end. Now, if you have any issues with grouping the mobs, as you can see, they're a little bit spread out here. You can kind of wait to put your blizzard back down, but I would recommend just keeping it up because the time that they get hit on both sides, they're all going to die. So, as you can see, this is one of the pulls that you can do. You can drag everything here and just keep AoEing them down. If you want, at this point, you can just walk up, hit everything, and then burst them down. That's going to be the first pull I'm going to show you. Now, there are about 2 to 3, maybe 4 pulls in this graveyard that you can actually do. I'm going to show you a couple more. If you refer to my last short, there's one down there for the horrors that you can actually do. But we're going to focus on these right here as far as 25 to 30 goes. And just go ahead and farm these out all the way. Now, normally at 28 or 29, I swap to a different spot because there's better hyper spawns, less people, and it's basically a mage spot. But I'll show you where that is on the map. It's going to be down here. You'll be pulling Worgens. But other than that, let's rebuff up right quick. I'm going to show you guys a couple more pulls that you can do here. The spawns for these is going to work like this. A whole group spawns over here. A whole group spawns from here to here. And then a whole group spawns from here to here. And also from there to there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to group up as many mobs as you can without dying. You know, make it reasonable. Here we go. We're going to group a couple more mobs right here. And I'll show you the other strat that you can do. You can just basically face tank for a second. Grab a couple more mobs if you want. Then go ahead and Frost Nova them. And without using that, you just kind of have to watch where your other mobs are that have spawned. Okay? The jumping method is probably the easiest method for those of you that don't have gear. Or enchants. You can do this pretty easily. I would recommend just grouping up like 5 or 6 mobs. You don't really need any more than that. And you'll get experience from it. What we're going to do is we're going to keep blizzarding here. I always use max range blizzard to get these guys down. Just cast another max range blizzard. Now there is something about these mobs where when they die, let's see if this one does it right here. It didn't do it. But when they die, they spawn 2 snakes. Those snakes will be killed normally by your AoE, but if your AoE runs out and they're close to dying anyways, just go ahead and hit them with an Arcane Explosion. The snakes only have 1 HP, so it's not really a big deal. But other than that, you kind of just got to watch your surroundings. I'm gonna do a couple more pulls here so you guys can kind of see how I navigate the graveyard while things respawn and etc. But we're gonna go ahead and stack up a couple more mobs. You just need to kind of learn their their de-aggro range and stack them up to where you can. Also, there's another mob here that you're gonna want to avoid. It's Morlatum. He will fuck you if he gets close to you. So just be careful of that. We'll group these up right here. Go ahead and AoE them down again. Now, I'm actually positioning myself here towards this fence because of the fact that if anything spawns, I can just keep using the fence to jump. And there's also a reset right here. If you jump there to there, all the mobs will reset after a certain amount of time. So I'd recommend just staying right around here. You don't really need to pull into here, but you can. That's what I would recommend. There's those flesh-eating worms. Just go ahead and hit them down. We use an evocate so we don't stop pulling. Now, if there's another mage here or too many players that are killing your mobs, what you can do is you can just layer over at this point if you really wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep killing stuff. Not really worried about it as long as we keep the XP rolling. That's all we need. So it doesn't even matter how big the pack size is. XP is XP, and these make respawns. All right, we'll group these up again. Go ahead and kite down here. Max range blizzard. And then just watch them die. Normally, these mobs take about 3 to 4 blizzards to kill. If you want, by your second Nova, you can probably just Flame Strike, Cone of Cold, and then Arcane Explosion. If you're level 25, I recommend just blizzarding. They can be a hassle at 25. We dodged this little guy right here. He's going to come into the pool. That's all right. It's perfectly okay. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take this mob. If you ever have one like this, you can either choose to 1, kill it, or 2, just run away. The resets are all around the graveyard, so you can just walk out here. There's spiders this way, but I wouldn't pay them any attention. You can just kind of dodge them. As you can see, we're out of combat. They don't run too far, so just be aware of that. I'm going to do one more pull just so you guys get the hang of it. And then we're going to go ahead and in the recording. But, you know, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the video. Give me any feedback down on the bottom. And that's it. Let's get into this next pull. Some other items I recommend bringing mana, food, pots, dynamite if you have them. You don't really need them, but if you have them, they can make pulls a whole lot easier on you. We'll go ahead and grab these mobs up, and we'll do one more showing of the... Sorry. We'll do one more showing of this pull right here. Go all the way down here to the end. Now, you guys got to kind of be wary about this one because sometimes there's mobs that spawn back here, but I wouldn't worry too much. We're going to let this guy get an aggro range, and then we're just going to go ahead and put another blizzard down there so he runs into it. There we go. Also, another thing to remember when AoE farming, be careful of jumping because that increases your leeway. So if you have a ton of mobs jumping like this, if they get too close, they could end up hitting you and killing you. But here you won't have to worry about it as long as you keep them down here at the end. All right, guys, that's going to be our last pull. Just remember what I taught you, and you'll be good to go.